So first of all, the consideration that we had was technology. So we've got an incredibly complex process or set of processes, but there's no perfect system, there's no sort of one system fits all. And then that leads on to something else within the technology space, which is the lack of integration or the difficulty of integration. So Elliot made an excellent point yesterday, which was there's just an expectancy that the integration happens, but there's no consideration for actually how difficult that actually is, more factors are involved. And then we're talking about the usability to all users as well. So it's often considered that there's the HR users or the recruiters, but what about the wider context? What about the candidates? What about the hiring managers and how they actually engage with the technology and usability to them as a community? The second issue that was identified was that of globalisation. So we talk about procuring a global process, a global solution, but it always seems to be one or two sort of countries that lead that. There's no real consideration given to those sort of smaller countries which may have sort of simpler or different processes and may not actually sort of understand or sort of need the actual processes that are put in place by them, by the main country that's procuring the process. So there's a lack of consideration and a difficulty of delivering a true global rollout. And thirdly was the actual buying process itself. So a lot of the time we're comparing apples with oranges. So what are we actually sort of considering when we're procuring the RPO service? So where's the opportunity to show value? Because these things quite often come down to cost, but what's the true cost and where can the true value actually be shown? And then it's about you actually engaging with the right people through that procurement process as well. Again, there's often a lack of consideration about the people who are actually going to be using the service, so the candidates, the hiring manager community, for example. So in terms of solutions, first of all, I think there's a common theme that really runs through this, which is consider the user, and not just the core user of the service, but what we would maybe term as being non-core users, so those that are going to be engaging with the service as hiring managers, as candidates and other people that are touched upon that are often not considered throughout the entire process. In terms of technology, there's an argument to keep it simple, to actually push back on complex requirements, and then give time to optimise as well. So it's not just about a big bang from day one, it's actually how do you evolve that technology into your service as the service grows. From a globalisation perspective, it's about actually having the ability to consider the impact on the other countries as well. So it's not just about the US or the UK where the service is being procured from, it's actually how does that affect your business as a whole across the globe. And then also about putting in place those processes which can be global but can also be local at the same time. And thirdly, with regards to the buying process, it's actually having the opportunity to have earlier engagement. So really giving those providers the opportunity to really get down, sort of drill deep down into understanding the actual service that needs to be procured, rather than just answering sort of questions as part of an RFP process. So also to sort of have more engagement at the senior level, to really get the senior sponsorship into that, and then also to sort of consider the users as well. So it's not just about procurement who are buying the process and what sort of costs can they save, but what is actually the true cost to the business and what is the actual true impact that the services being procured is going to give.
Great, thank you.